Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Love Keto Cooking with Ron. Well, today we're bringing you a new recipe. It's almond floured pumpkin bread. Now, I absolutely love pumpkin bread around the holidays, and typically in the past I used to always buy the Pillsbury quick breads and have my wife make me a number of those over the Thanksgiving holidays. So we're getting pretty close to the fall months right now. We're just about at the end of summer, and I decided to try a pumpkin bread recipe. This particular recipe comes from Myra from Carb Love. She said to use 2 1/4 cups of almond flour, half a cup of powdered swerve, 1 1/2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and combine it, mix it really well before you add your wet ingredients. And for our wet ingredients, we added 4 room temperature eggs, a half a cup of pumpkin puree, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 7 1/2 tablespoons of avocado oil. Now you could submit that and use butter or melted butter instead, and a pinch of salt. And we combined it all together, and we have the preheated oven at 350 and baking it in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. And we're gonna let it cool. We're gonna pop it out of the low pan, and we'll have us try it afterwards. And so right after this video, I'll go into the recipe and the how I put it all together, and then we'll come back with a follow-up and what my taste test was on the bread. Now, yesterday we made another pumpkin bread. We made I'll have her YouTube link below the video, and the bread recipe was really, really good. But the problem with the bread recipe that I tried from Jennifer, Low Carb Revolution or something like that. I'll have the contact in that particular recipe under the video as well. It was good, but the bread was only 1 inch thick, and I like my bread a little thicker than 1 inch. And she said to use baking soda, not baking powder. And I questioned that because typically baking powder will let your bread rise. And I'm thinking that she just might have made a mistake. It should have said baking powder and not baking soda. But this particular recipe we made from Low Carb Love, we made it exactly like she did, used the same exact ingredients. And on the low pan, she took a aluminum foil, put it down on the low pan, and then she took some parchment paper and added it over that. And I think she sprayed the parchment paper, but I didn't spray the parchment paper with cooking oil because the bread's got a lot of oil as it is. So when that's all done, we'll pull it out and after it cools, and then we'll have a sample, and then I'll come back and we'll do a taste test. So I just thought we'd, today we're doing a little bit of experiment for the holidays, and hope you enjoy the video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and it helps other people know when they post videos like this one. So this particular video is going to be called Low Carb Pumpkin Bread and for Keto, and it might be just a little bit different than the actual name. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll come back with a follow-up with the bread and do a taste test. But yeah, it's going good. Talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know the Rudy too. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Loving Keto, Ron's weight loss journey, and Keto Cooking with Ron. Today we're making a low carb pumpkin bread, and I absolutely love pumpkin bread around the holidays. And since we're getting early into the fall, and I've been experimenting for Thanksgiving and for other recipes. This recipe comes from Myra from Low Carb Love, and so what we got going on in our bowl right now, we have 2 1/4 cups of almond flour, and that's blanched, the Great Value brand from Walmart. A half a cup of confectionate swerve, and that's the potted kind, which is fine for keto. And then you're going to need 1 1/2 tablespoons of baking powder. You'll need to add a pinch of salt, and that's the pink Himalayan salt. That's cinnamon, ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon. Pumpkin spice, 1 to 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, and I have 2 teaspoons in there, and that all depends on your taste. So this has already been sifted, and it doesn't matter what order you put them all in, by the way. So we'll start off with the, and I'm using a spatula, by the way. This is the confectionate swerve. Then we have the bacon powder. Cinnamon. And the pumpkin spice. And last but not least, the salt. She said it's when you're doing the salt there, check it before you actually put it in. But we're kind of doing it in a little bit reverse. But when we get it all mixed up, we'll just take a little taste test, and if I feel as if I need to add more salt, we'll put it in. Because once you start baking, you cannot take it out. So anyway, she said mix this up really well before you start adding your wet ingredients. And we'll go over our wet ingredients in a minute. So I'm just following along with the directions here from what the YouTuber. And I'll have a link below the video. And then at this point, you should have your oven preheated up. And at this point, you should have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And we're gonna, when it's all mixed together, we're gonna put it in a lined loaf pan with parchment paper and spray it with a little bit of cooking spray, and it bakes off in the oven 350 for 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. When the knife comes out clean, it's done. You don't have to really over mix this there. This is just to make sure you get everything all incorporated really well. And I'm already starting to get a really phenomenal smell for this. And for our wet ingredients, she said add 4 eggs room temperature. Okay, they've been sitting out for a while. And she said to add some vanilla extract. We have 2 tablespoons of that'll be going in. Okay, and you can put butter if you want to, but but her recipe calls for avocado oil. And we're going to be using this brand avocado oil. It's a, let's see, you got it lined up at the camera. This is the California Olive Ranch Avocado Oil Blend, and we're going to be using 7.5 tablespoons. Probably about a half a stick of butter if you're using butter, and I would use unsalted butter. Now, since we made the bread the other day, we had some leftover puree, so we're going to use some of this up to, she says a half a cup of puree, I believe. Let me make sure that's right. A half a cup of puree. So we're probably going to wind up just using the rest of this just to use it up. And this is a sugar-free kind, by the way. So why don't we just go ahead and go right to this. Make sure we don't get no shells in here. These are not organic eggs, they're just cage-free eggs from the store. I have to get what I can afford right now because everything's so expensive. That takes care of our eggs. Now after I get all this mixed up and then put it in the, I'll show you the process of the how I do it in the loaf pan. Okay, so then we get the eggs in. And again, it doesn't make any difference what order you put this in. I'm just getting my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. So we got the eggs in. Now we can put the puree in. It's going to be about a half a cup. Again, it's just the rest of what I had from the can. It might be a little, yeah, it's about a half a cup. Might save the rest of it for something else. Okay. Most of the time I don't measure, but in this particular case I'm pretty much measuring according to the YouTuber. Now she says to put 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. And I already got my, incidentally I bought a set of measuring spoons like this for Amazon. I got about, there's 14 different sizes. So I use these quite a bit. And she says to put 2 of these, 2 tablespoons in. And we'll measure, that's, 1, 2, and then it calls for the avocado oil. And again, you can use melted butter, 7.5 tablespoons. So let me open this up. We'll count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. Okay. So I got that closed up pretty well. I don't want to make a mess. And now we're just going to take the spatula and we're going to just continue working everything all in until it's all combined. Now that we have everything, I just want to just double check my list. Puree, vanilla extract, avocado oil. Yeah, we got everything all in. Like I said, you just combine it, keep working it in. Now the other recipe I tried the other day, I tried it and the bread didn't rise very much. She called for baking soda, not baking powder. And I'm beginning to wonder if she just didn't make a mistake and had the, because baking powder always makes your bread rise. And yeah, so I just found it pretty interesting. And if it doesn't feel like, if she said also too, if your batter doesn't feel like it's, if it's too wet, you can always add a little more almond flour. Yeah. But yeah, it looks pretty good. The texture's getting there. And I always pull it down from the sides and get it all mixed in really well. So what we'll do is pour this into a low pan, and then when I pull it out of the low pan, when it's completed, we'll let it cool, and then we'll have a taste test later. And I'll probably make a little cream cheese topping for it, show you how I make that. Just trying to get the rest of that almond flour that's kind of like chunky. And you could probably use a mixer for this if you have a mixer. We have a mixer, but I'm just too lazy to go get it. So that's what our product looks like before it goes into the sheeting pan, and so that's what our batter looks like before it goes into the low pan. And let's go get the low pan and we'll line it with some parchment paper and put it in there and preheat it up at 350. And we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we have our low pan, and what she says to do is, well, this is what she did. You cut off a piece of aluminum foil. She said line your pan with foil. And again, I'm just doing what the YouTuber's telling me what to do. I think the idea of the foil is just so you got less mess you got to worry about cleaning in the end. And the other thing about all this is I normally get throwaways from my Ocean State job lot. I just haven't had a chance to go down and get them for this month. Okay, so that's just like that. And then I saw her take a piece of parchment paper and just do the same thing. It's kind of like Then we're going to just transfer the batter right into the on top of the parchment paper. It'll stay. So once I get it in there, it'll just form into the batter like that. So I'm just dumping it all in. That's kind of like going to stay in place for me. And then we'll just shape it into a loaf batter. Get it all out of the bowl. You guys could smell the pumpkin, or you could really smell the pumpkin and the spice from the pumpkin spice. And at this point, I suppose if you have any pecans, you could add pecans on top of it. You can add chocolate chips, and you can add pretty much almost anything. Or you can add, she ended up adding, what Myra did was she took some pumpkin seeds and she chopped them up a little bit, put them on top just for a fancy design. But I'm kind of okay with just plain pumpkin bread. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of like making it some type of a loaf, like I was doing a meatloaf. And I'm just trying to make sure the corners are filled in too. Pretty sure they are. Okay, so we'll do it two different angles. There's one angle, and we'll do this angle from the top. Okay, so there you have it. So now I may trim it a little bit before I put it in the oven, but it's basically ready to go in the oven now. We'll put it in the oven at 350 degrees, 30 to 40 minutes, and we'll let it bake. And then when that knife comes out clean, it'll be done. We'll let it cool, and then later we'll talk about it and how it came out. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ron's Weight Loss Journey, Loving Keto. And I'm Ron. And these are all recipes that basically at one time or another helped me to lose weight. This is a new recipe that I'm trying because it's getting close to the holidays, and I'm looking for some stuff that I can have for alternatives to the processed foods. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Hi guys, and we are back. Our bread is done. It's been cooling now for quite a while. I'm going to show it on two different angles, from the side angle camera and from the overhead angle camera. Now, the only thing I forgot to do was spray the inside of the parchment paper with cooking spray. But it might pull apart a little bit as we try to pull it off the bread. But now we're going to try to take it out of the little pan and see what it looks like. And this particular recipe is from Myra from Low Carb Love, and I have a link below the video. And I'll give an overview of the recipe. It called for 2 1/4 cups of almond flour, half of a cup of powdered swerve, and that was the keto swerve. And that's sugar-free. 1 1/2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin spice, depending on your taste. So we ended up putting 2 tablespoons in, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then for our wet ingredients, we had 4 eggs at room temperature, 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and 7.5 tablespoons of avocado oil. And she said if you don't want avocado oil, you could use like a half a stick of melted butter, but we did the avocado instead of butter. And then a pinch of salt. And we combined it all together. Put a piece of aluminum foil in the oil pan. Had the oven preheated at 350. Then we lined it with parchment paper over the foil. And a couple hours later, it's cooled down. Now we're going to try to pop it out of here without messing up the bread. The texture feels like bread. It looks more like bread. And we'll see what happens. So let's see if we can get it out of here without destroying the bread. Looks like it's going to come right out. Okay. Now, this way. See how it just came right out really easy. I'm going to peel off the parchment paper. And then we're going to flip the loaf around. Okay, let's remove the tin. So when I took it out of the low pan, I didn't even need to take the knife and work around it to pop it out. It just came out nice and easy. Let me tip it on the side. This is the thickness of the bread. It's about maybe almost 3 inches. Do it this way so you can see it that way. It's almost 3 inches thick, and that's what it looks like that from that angle. As you can see, and this is the back side of my bread. It actually feels like a loaf of bread. And then it just broke apart, so we're going to just close it in half like that, put it back together again so I can cut it evenly. I'm going to try a little piece. Then I just cut off a little section like this, and we'll give it a, see what it looks like on the inside. And that's what the bread texture looks like on the inside. It's spongy like bread. It's holding together like the Pillsbury quick breads that I used to buy for the holidays. And you can see it just broke apart, and you know, that's what it looks like that. It's really, really good. It does taste like pumpkin. I'm really happy with it. I think, Myra, you have something there from Low Carb Love, young lady. And really, this is tastes a little bit better than the other one I made the other day. Not there was nothing wrong with the other one that I made the other day, but because I didn't put baking soda, I didn't put baking powder in it, put baking soda, the bread didn't rise. And that was my only regret in making that particular bread. But look at that, guys, huh? You could probably put a little bit of cream cheese. You could have put some pecan nuts on top. Myra put some pumpkin seeds on top of hers. And yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps other people know when they post videos. But look at that, guys, huh? Nice cream cheese on top of that, I'm thinking. Maybe later. And I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.